Phil here. Before we get started, The Wind is made possible by our patrons. If you'd like to support the show, head to patreon.com/thewind and set up a monthly donation. This is a completely independent production, and any support helps. If a monthly donation is not your thing, we also have merch, and you can help spread the word by sending an episode to a friend. This episode is one part of a two-part series called the Merry Monarchs. Both are from Wind contributor Eleanor Tullock, and the episodes are releasing on the same day, so you should have both in your feed right now. In this episode, Eleanor interrogates the internet in search of answers about the Monarch Butterflies. The Wind, Year 3, Episode 5.
The Merry Monarchs. Part 1.
Collective Knowledge.
Entering Internet Chat. Input question 9/30/2022 12.31 User Eleanor Tullock.
Q. How do I talk to butterflies? Dear Forum. I'm a human. Yes? Human. I am normal. I would like to talk to the butterflies, particularly the most important ones, which, if you go by names, importance, inheritance, social ranking, hereditary peerage, cross-reference with rarity equals Monarch Butterflies. How do I talk to them? I have essential questions about A. Their feelings on bees, and other species they live apparently peacefully alongside. Their feelings on the butterflies that pretend to be them. B. Their feelings on sorrow. C. How to cross mountain ranges. How? Why?
A.
Ellen Codding,
Lives in
the United States of America.
July 5th.
Yes, just the other day I was sitting on the balcony of my apartment on the 7th floor. I had my bare feet up on the rail and my head back enjoying a beautiful day. There are flowers and green cucumbers growing by my windows, and as I sat there leaning on the last wobbling feet of my chair, a monarch butterfly landed on the flowers. She took a deep breath and cleared her throat. We were staring right at each other when she cleared her throat again and said, "Hello, Ellen, what's new?" I nearly fell right back, but luckily caught my heel on the railing and my head on the new rustic window box. I was dumbfounded. Suspended there with my head on a sharpened succulent, I rubbed my eyes and didn't say anything, so she said, "Come on, Ellen, aren't you going to talk to me?" I said, "What the S-H? You surprised me." "Sure, I'll talk to anyone. I'm species blind. I was just surprised by a butterfly such as yourself being able to speak, particularly with such different vocal facilities as..." Anyway, she said, "Wow, really, Ellen? But okay, sure, that's fair enough, I guess. I just learned how to speak an hour ago." I replied, "You seem to be pretty articulate for someone who just learned how to speak." She replied, "I have a limited lifespan, so when things happen to me, they happen in an extremely accelerated pace." Well, we sat there talking away, and while she fluttered her wings taking in the sun, I pruned my window boxes. She said her name, but honestly I didn't understand it. I guess she said it in her language that sounded too high and delicate for my ears. I asked about her migration because, sure, it's still suspiciously hot late in the year, but maybe she should be far towards San Diego by now. She said she had been up against some pretty stiff winds, so was taking a break and had come across a wizard who gave her the ability to speak. Well, eventually we got real tired of talking about everything and nothing. The great vast plains of danger in the realm of existence, and I think she really overate the pollen from Mrs. B's window plantings next door and Sure enough, we both fell right to sleep in the sunny green haze. It must have been a few hours later as the sun was starting to dip. She woke me up with a few quick wing beats of air into my ear, said, "Ciao ciao forever. You'll see my great-great-grandchildren one day in the unimaginable future," and flew off to find her overwintering grove.
A.
Anon. Hi, Ellen. This is your neighbor, again. Don't disagree with what you saw, or any conversations you may have had at the time. But as we talked about in the hallway when the firefighters were helping extinguish your bathtub, you might want to address your agoraphobia with more than NyQuil and succulent pruning. Just saying, cause you said it yourself, you know. Anyway, please stop cutting back my succulents. They're very slow-growing geophytes and I have to keep filling in the bare patches with cucumbers. But then you cut them off at the base too. Maybe you could find someone to talk to about it, since none of our memories about that accident on the golf course are going anywhere. I'm saying this because I care about you as a neighbor and acquaintance. I'm worried, and please stop cutting back my succulents.
A.
Ellen Codding. F you, Graham, you coward. How about you come out here and I'll show you what a succulent really should look like. You know nothing of the transcendent majesty of the Monarch Butterfly Migration. Only a Monarch Butterfly could teach you the meaning of hope, or beauty, or joy, or...
A.
Alexa, salesperson, 2018 to present. Have you ever chased a butterfly just to see where it goes? 'Cause I have. It wasn't very interesting. They are kind of dumb and fly in circles a lot.
Related Q. How big is a monarch butterfly? A.
John D. The monarch, Danius plexus, is one of our larger butterflies with a wingspan measuring between 3.5 and 4 inches. The males are slightly larger and heavier than the females.
Q. What is the bravest thing you have done in a job interview? Q. How do millionaires invest when there's a recession downturn in the...
A. Can we return to the monarch butterflies? I have a lot of questions for the butterflies. A lot more. Q. How do I talk to the butterflies?
Related. Q. What do monarch butterflies hear? A.
M. Quackenbush. In general, butterflies appear to have poor hearing. Larvae perceive sound through tactile seta, but they seem to mainly respond to sudden noises. This is easy to observe in monarch larvae, which will rear up if you clap loudly near them. This reaction is often called a startle response, a behavior that probably evolved to protect the larvae from predators who make noise. If you clap repeatedly, the butterflies get used to the noise and stop responding, a phenomenon of learning called habituation. Habituation happens throughout the animal kingdom, including in humans. For example, people who live in cities often stop noticing the noise of traffic until they go out into the country and hear its absence again. Adult butterflies often sense sound through veins in their wings, but scientists have only studied this in a limited number of species. A few species of moths and butterflies, not monarchs, make sound by rubbing or clicking together parts of their bodies, like wing veins, legs, clapping their wings together, etc. In some species, this may be a means of communication between individuals and can play an important role in finding mates. In other species, it seems to serve as a way to scare off predators, such as birds. We're not sure how many species of butterflies and moths use sound, because humans often can't hear the noises they produce. Please visit www.monarchwatch.org/biology/sense1.html.
Q. But how do they hear?
A.
Anon. Monarchs smell with their antennae and taste with their feet. Hearing is very different with monarchs. They certainly do not hear sound as we do. They respond to air vibrations and hear ultrasound.
Huh. Q. How do I convert human audible sound to ultrasonic sound?
A.
Chris T.S., former electronics test engineer, 1977 to 2016. By using a device called a frequency shifter. There are software-based ones, like, but I don't know if it is capable of shifting up to ultrasonic. You will probably need to do a web search for hardware-based systems. What are you trying to do anyway?
Q. How do I find monarch butterflies?
A. To provide an answer to this question, log in and... Q. Suggested. Do butterflies come to you when you are sad? Q. Why are you sad? Q. When was the last time you felt butterflies? Q. Why am I always sad?
Oh, never mind that now. Q. How is it possible that monarch butterflies can fly up to 11,000 feet high?
A. This question does not have any answers yet. In the meantime, we have included some related questions and answers below. Q. Related. How do monarchs fly so far? A.
A paper this week, October 16, 2014, in Nature, reports sequencing the genome of monarch butterflies, and the sequencing revealed the genes responsible for migration and coloration. The migratory capability of the monarch butterfly is apparently linked to a single gene and not an assortment. This gene codes for a protein that is essential for the formation and efficient function of muscles. An analysis of the evolutionary selection patterns on this gene revealed evidence to suggest that alteration of a single building block, amino acid, affect the assembling properties of the protein it helps build. This perhaps confers it with an advantage for long-distance flight. The advantage conferred may be increased flying efficiency. This hypothesis is supported by the fact that migratory monarchs, for example those found in Massachusetts, consume lesser energy in flight in comparison to non-migratory monarchs, for example those found in the South Florida. These migratory and non-migratory groups not only differ in the gene coding the protein responsible for muscle function, but also in the level of its expression.
What is the purpose of having different types of insects, like bees, butterflies, moths, etc.? A.
Lorinda W., Research Health Scientist, 2009 to present. There is no purpose, they simply are. Every type of plant, climate, location, and combination of other species across the entire planet offers a different type of niche for life to exist. Different insects eat different things. The more different things eat, the more different insects there can be. Different climates offer different possibilities for life. The more different possibilities, the more different types of life there are. Common milkweed is a type of plant that produces a chemical that is toxic and bitter tasting to some creatures. Yet this plant hosts a wide variety of insect life that live either partially or exclusively on the milkweed. Milkweed beetles love milkweed, so do monarchs which can't live on anything else. So do aphids, certain types of spiders, assassin bugs, and ants. Just that one plant is a veritable bustling city of varied insect life. And that's just one type of plant. Think about how many species of plants there are. All of them may have particular birds, insects, amphibians, fungal or reptile species that make their home or food source from that plant. Now, think about how many different types of habitats there are. There are rainforests, deserts, shorelines, plains, mountain ranges, and on and on. Every habitat offers different challenges and different opportunities. The proper question is, why are there so many types of insects? And the answer to that is simple. Because there can be.
Q. Do monarch butterflies feel pain?
A.
Marilyn C. lives in Chicago. The consensus seems to be that butterflies can feel pressure and know when they are in danger, but that they lack the receptors that would allow them to feel pain in the way that we think of it.
Q. Do butterflies feel pain?
A.
Sanjeev B., General Manager. Something very interesting here. Scientists say no, that they do not have pain receptors in brain, hence cannot feel pain. However, other experiments conducted on butterfly states they can remember pain sense during metamorphosis into adult butterfly. The tests were conducted inside a Y-shaped pipe that allowed the animals to choose an area smelling of ethyl acetate or of unadulterated air. About a month later, after the caterpillars had metamorphosed, the adult moths were given the same choice test. 77% of them avoided the ethyl acetate pipe, suggesting that the lesson learned as a caterpillar is remembered as an adult. Butterflies know when they are touched. Their nervous system does not have pain receptors that registers pain. They can survive without abdomen, partly broken wing.
Q. What do monarch butterflies mean?
Reply, Q. What do you mean? Search.
Question. What do butterflies symbolize?
A.
And Charlottaya Anderson Vine. According to the people in Mexico, the Aztecs, Mixtecas, they thought that butterflies are dead souls. So, when a butterfly came to them, they thought that it was a relative. Butterflies are beautiful and very special, and usually you cannot fetch them. So you see it in two ways. You have lost something beautiful and special, or the opposite according to dream interpretation. You are gaining something beautiful and special. What is clear is that butterflies are not like all other things. Look at your life and see what is going on. It can be a new job, a new relationship, also that you have developed.
More in episode 2 of the Merry Monarchs. Q. What does a dead butterfly mean in a dream?
A.
Ethel B. A butterfly usually symbolizes change. I would say a dead butterfly is an end of an era, that something new and beautiful is being created out of the ashes of your past.
Related. Q. What does it mean if a monarch butterfly insists on landing on you to die? A.
Mark A., retired medical doctor, now urban farmer, butterfly gardener. Monarch butterflies die. A lot. It's part of their strategy. They get all their protein in the caterpillar stage and live off that, plus sugar for energy until they run out of amino. About 2 weeks, if they are producing sperm and eggs. But longer during overwintering. They are basically disposable, and thousands of them die, with each of the summer's 4 or 5 generations. What it means if one lands on you as it's dying, is that you were between it and the ground.
I don't know. Sounds like... Q. What do butterflies feel?
Related. Q. What does a butterfly feel when it's in love? A.
Verse Tate. It feels humans in its stomach.
Related. Q. How poisonous is the monarch butterfly?
A.
David R. PhD in Physics and Solid State, 1985. The monarch butterfly is aposematic. Most aposematic animals merely taste bad. Eating one is not lethal. Aposematic means that the member of the species both visually stands out and has some type of toxin in it. It visually stands out so potential predators can tell that it is probably toxic and then avoids it. Aposematism evolves when the potential predator remembers there is an association between the visual pattern and the toxin. The visual pattern and the toxin are not genetically linked. The associated alleles are on different loci, so the success of aposematism as a defense relies on the predator learning to avoid the associated pattern. Killing the predator seldom works. Predators are competitive and territorial. If a predator in a territory dies, some other predator will almost immediately take its place. If the potential prey is so poisonous that it kills the predator, then another predator will take its place that doesn't know the visual pattern. So very often the prey is just toxic enough to make the predator feel sick immediately after it eats the prey. The predator observes the visual pattern and color of the prey animal just after it feels sick. It then learns to avoid all animals that have the same appearance. This includes other members of the aposematic prey. Monarch butterflies have these bright orange colors with black stripes that are easily recognized by any animal with acute vision. They also taste very bad. They probably absorb the toxins that make it taste bad from the milkweed that the caterpillar feeds on. Smart predators that snack on a monarch butterfly or two learn never to eat anything that even resembles a monarch butterfly. The viceroy butterfly mimics the monarch butterfly and is also toxic. So animals that eat viceroys or monarch imago learn to never eat anything that even resembles either a monarch or viceroy imago. This is called Müllerian mimicry. Summary: monarchs and viceroy butterflies taste bad and make predators feel sick. However, they do not kill the predators.
Q. Should I...
A. Do not eat butterflies. No matter how fanciful and attractive and buttery a butterfly looks, do not eat them. Monarchs lay their eggs on milkweed plants, which serve as food for their caterpillars and are a source of their bitter, poisonous taste, which is advertised to predators by their colors. Even if
That wasn't what I was asking. Q. What are butterflies made of?
Doctors don't want you to know this secret. Achieve visibly softer, smoother, shinier.
I have questions. More questions. Q. What colors do butterflies like? What do they see? What are they attracted to? Q. Do they like bright lights such as artificial lights such as lighthouse TV lights, disco, flashing lights, and traffic lights? Q. How do they feel about glass? How do they feel about glass buildings? Do they have the same difficulty that birds have with glass buildings and reflection? Q. How many miles per hour can they fly? Q. Do they have blood? Q. Do they have circulation? Do they have ears? Q. Why are monarch butterflies declining? How have the migration what changes have monarch butterflies undergone? Q. How do they shelter in storms and severe weather systems and environment? How do they survive? Q. When did the monarch migration begin? Q. Where are the monarchs?
The Wind is produced by me, Phil Corbett. This episode was written, recorded, and created by Eleanor Tullock. A huge thank you to Teo Rasmussen, who provided most of the music for this episode. Teo is a good friend and an excellent synth musician, and you can find his work at patterns.bandcamp.com. And thank you to Sephora Sidibe from the podcast Tant que je serai noir for lending her voice, and to the internet for providing their voices and opinions in this experimental open source writing project. This season of The Wind was made with support from the Google Podcasts Creator Program through PRX, and by listeners like you. Head to patreon.com/thewind and set up a monthly donation to help keep this thing going. And if you'd like to support non-monetarily, share an episode with a friend, or post about the show on social media. Anything helps. Links, videos, photos, merch, and more at thewind.org. Thank you for being here, and keep listening.